Hello everyone, here we are in Austria at the Red Bull Ring, and since Monday the trucks were arriving doing the preparations. There's a lot of work getting all this set up, and now we are ready to go racing. We're psyched to be here, and I'm very psyched to have a familiar face here, Gary Peffert. Haven't seen you in a while. He is a two-time DTM champion in 2005 and 2018, and Gary, it's so good having you back, and I also heard you haven't been back since your DTM title. So what's it like being back?
Yeah, it's incredible. I've been pretty wrapped up with my own stuff since then, but it's great to be back after 7 years now, and to be back at the Red Bull Ring again, a circuit I really enjoyed, and to arrive at a time where there's an intense championship fight is really good.
Absolutely, and you know what it's like to be fighting for a title. So this is a point we'd like to discuss with René Rast also. Because
also with this guy.
Exactly, also with this guy. There's something we want to be talking about. Hey René, good to see you, and you know this young man here as well, because looking back at 2018, it was you guys battling for the title.
Yeah, good memories. Good memories. It was a tough battle. We won 6 races in a row and tried to catch Gary. Unfortunately, it didn't work out in the end. He was just too quick in the end, but he deserved the win. It was a cool year and lots of good memories.
And same with you. Can you say the same thing? Good memories?
Yeah, it was great memories, and it was a great fight. A bit of up and down. I certainly had a better start to the year, and René at the end was relentless. So we just about made it, but it was a great fight, and René's done incredible things since then.
Yes, definitely, and we're also going to see a good fight today, hopefully. I mean, you're the championship leader, the new championship leader, because yesterday you won the race. Unfortunately, you're starting in P7, and you've got Auer and Aitken ahead of you, so it means you're going to be fighting very hard today.
It's going to be a very difficult race for us, to be honest. I think 7th place is almost like a victory in qualifier for us. We didn't have the pace today, and I think the race will be even more difficult because we have these extra 20 kilos of that victory from yesterday in the car as well. So it's going to be probably a race towards the back and not to the front, unfortunately.
But we will see, and you're a fighter, so it's going to be interesting. And excuse my French, one thing about, I guess for today, you've got to have balls. This is one of the stories, René. You, in just maybe in a few seconds, you need to explain, because I learned today this is your good omen.
We have that for 1 year already.
And I only noticed now.
Verena. That's our good luck balls, basically. Exactly 1 year ago here at Red Bull Ring, we said we need some balls, and I was sitting at breakfast, and I was not hungry enough to eat those 2 eggs, and then we took it, and we won the race. So that since then they follow us.
All right, but hopefully the eggs, are going to help you for today's race. Best of luck for the race.
Thank you. Good luck. Have fun.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, René. And Gary, have you ever heard a story like that with the good luck balls?
No, I've never heard that. Well, I think it's a German thing, eggs, isn't it? So we would say balls. I think putting balls on the back of a car would be a bit worse. So anyway, we'll move on from that.
Absolutely. And let's speak about René quickly. I mean, you were here yesterday and you followed the race yesterday, and obviously it's a bit of a controversial topic there, because there was a moment between Marco and René. And what do you say about the story?
It's a team's decision. For me, it was a strange decision with both of them with a chance of winning the championship. To have a swap of positions was a bit strange, especially for me, considering it looked like René was quick enough to win the race outright anyway. So it was, I don't know, it doesn't do a lot for the mood in the team, but it's up to the team to decide. They made a decision, and they've got to live with it. But it was a bit strange to see, considering they're both so close to the front of the championship.
And speaking of the championship, Gary, I mean, you know the DTM very well. You were in it long enough, 15 years, I think.
Yeah.
And do you agree that the DTM hasn't been as exciting for a long time as it is now? It is so super tight, and it's just really exciting to follow.
Yeah, it hasn't been as exciting since I left, no? Is that? But no, it's incredible. You look at how many points there are between the top 6 in the championship, with lots of different brands of cars. It's going to go down to the wire. It's really close here. It's going to go down to Hockenheim, and I'm sure it's going to go down to the last race. So it's incredible for the fans, a bit nerve-wracking for the drivers, but there's a lot of opportunity for everyone, so it's good.
It's absolutely good, and we will be speaking in just a bit more. But now first, the commentators.
Thanks very much, Verena. Thanks, Gary. Yeah, welcome to the grid and dark skies above us. The threat of rain was meant to come before the race started. It hasn't happened yet. Could it still happen? Could there be a bit more drama in the race? Jules Gounon heading towards the car to get ready. One of 10 drivers mathematically still in the championship. Thierry Vermeulen keeping himself mathematically in the championship because he scored pole position, his second of the season, his third career pole, got those 3 points, and he's going to be starting on pole position when we have our 55-minute plus 1 lap race to come. René Rast, as he said, with 20 kilograms of success ballast on board, having won the race yesterday, plus the BMWs were given an extra 15 kilograms with a BOP change overnight as well. So 7th on the grid for René with his lucky boiled eggs on the rear wings. Good job he didn't have baked beans for breakfast a year ago, isn't it? That would have been quite difficult. And then 2nd on the grid, a brilliant effort from Ricardo Feller, who's looked quick all weekend long, but hasn't had the results he probably deserves yet because had a problem in the pit stop yesterday, as did this man, Fabio Sciarra, who drove really well in the Mustang, came through, got well up into the top 10, and then he had a problem in the pit stop as well. They span the wheels just off the jacks and lost time in the pit stop anyway, and then he also had a penalty, and then he went too quick through the penalty box and had to do it again. Still managed to get a couple of points, but it was a case of what might have been for Fabio. However, he's qualified a season's best 5th on the 3rd row of the grid, Fabio. So the top 2, Thierry Vermeulen and Ricardo Feller. And then Jack Aitken, after his huge disappointment yesterday, crashing out of 2nd place, about to pick up the championship lead with just a few corners to go. A great comeback as one of the only drivers towards the top of the championship to score a point today. He is 3rd on the grid. Right, we can go back down to the grid. Verena and Gary are here ready with more.
And here we are, and we're here with the pole setter, Thierry Vermeulen. Great job you did in the qualifying and best position, obviously. How are you going to ace the race?
Well, it's definitely a lot easier from pole, so hopefully we just have a clean start, and then I think the pace should be good, but the first lap a lot can happen here, as everyone knows, so we just got to keep it clean and stay in front.
But it's going to be an exciting race.
Absolutely, always here in Red Bull Ring. We saw that yesterday also. Plenty of overtaking, and I'm sure with these guys behind also fighting for the championship, there will be plenty of action.
All right, well, Thierry, thank you so much. Best of luck for the race. And Gary, let's talk about this track. I mean, the Red Bull Ring is absolutely legendary. It's the fastest track in the calendar. How do you remember it?
Yeah, I mean, it's only sort of 10 corners. There's not many corners here. It's a very short lap, but it's definitely one of the most exciting. You know, with the 3 long straights, makes overtaking possible around here in 3 places at least, and the really high-speed section in the middle is really challenging for the drivers. We saw Jack Aitken making a mistake, you know, on the last lap of the race yesterday in one of the high-speed corners, and that's what it's like here. You really have to push hard all the way to the end of the race, and it's a challenging circuit. Like I say, very short, a lot of laps during the race, so a lot of repetition. But it's going to be an exciting race, and we're still waiting for the rain to come as well. So, yeah, that'll be interesting.
Are we waiting for the rain? Because if you ask me, I can't smell it yet. So
Verena can't smell the rain, so it's not coming. The forecasts say it's coming, so we'll see. I mean, and that's really, if it does rain though, you know, the balance of the performance of these cars in the wet is different to the dry. So if it does rain, then it's going to be interesting. Also with the pit stops as well, you know, trying to delay your pit stop if it is going to rain to make sure you only change once. So it's going to be an interesting race.
Absolutely, and obviously there are always drivers who love the rain, like you back in the days, and there are always drivers who hope that it's going to stay dry.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's interesting. I say some of them will be really hoping that it rains, and others will be hoping, yeah, the rest. I mean, the pole sitter definitely doesn't want rain right now, so no. We'll see. But as you say, there's a lot of championship rivals right behind. We've got Jack, we've got Lucas right here, René a bit further back, only 2 rows back, so it's not far. So it's going to be a really tough battle for the race win itself, but also for championship position.
Absolutely, and we only have 3 more races, so I mean that makes it even more exciting, because now it's really every single race counts. Obviously, every point counts.
Yeah, I mean, you know, a DNF or something today for one of these can be really hurt their championship chance. So they've got to score as many points as they can, but getting a couple of points on your rivals going into the last weekend can make a big difference. So it's, yeah, there's a lot going on in this race.
Absolutely. Are you ready for this race?
I'm ready for it. Are you ready for it?
I am ready.
Tell me when you smell the rain.
All right, so let's do it. Now enjoy the race. Let's go racing. Here are your commentators. Thanks, Gary.
Thanks very much to Verena Vries and two-time DTM champion, 23-time race winner, Gary Paffett. Great to see Gary back here. He'll be keeping his eye on these drivers, on this championship fight then. Thierry Vermeulen with the honour of being on pole position for what is going to be round 14 of the championship coming up very soon. Welcome then to the Red Bull Ring. Low clouds, dark skies surround us in this highly elevated circuit, 4.3 kilometres long. Lots of drama yesterday, particularly at the end of the race when Jack Aitken made an incredibly rare mistake and crashed out of second place, crashed out of what would have been the championship lead. But he's fought back today, scoring a point for qualifying third on the grid. Let's take a look then at this circuit, 4.3 kilometres long. DTM has been coming here since 2001. We've had 24 races over the years, haven't come here consistently during the last few decades. When we do come here, the racing is very good and the overtaking is aplenty. One of the masters of overtaking in the DTM is the 2023 champion, Thomas Preining, one of two Austrian drivers hoping to get on the podium in his home race this weekend. There's some examples of the overtaking he was pulling off last year. Had to come from a lowly grid position in one of the races, got through and got into the points. He has had a win and two other podium finishes here across the last 3 seasons, so good record for him. It was a bad start to the weekend in qualifying yesterday for Tommy. But again, yesterday he was pulling off these kinds of overtakes to come from 16th on the grid all the way through to 6th place. So the championship absolutely finely poised. At the moment, with 3 races to go, we've got 10 drivers that could still win it. Thierry Vermeulen almost got knocked out of the running this morning, but he found something special, got pole position, got 3 points, and he is still in touch, albeit with a distant shot. Here's the grid then. Gilles Magnus, after his heroics yesterday, starting 24th. Maurice Skuring had a penalty puncture earlier, so he starts 23rd with Timo Glock and Max Powell ahead. Nicky Tim and Nicola Bart are on row 10. Row 9, Marco Wittmann was on pole yesterday, and Ben Durr. Then it's Luca Enxler and Tom Callender starting on the 8th row of the grid. Jordan Pepper, key championship contender, and reigning champion Mirko Bortolotti up next. Arjun Maini and Ben Green are on the 6th row of the grid. Then into the top 10, Maro Engel starts 10th, Engin Nguyen starting in 9th, Jules Gounon 8th, René Rast in 7th, the winner yesterday, Fabio Scherer and Thomas Preining qualifying on the 3rd row of the grid. Lucas Auer, a much better qualifying than yesterday, starts 4th. Jack Aitken scored a point for qualifying 3rd. He is there next with Ricardo Feller on the front row of the grid for the 2nd time this season, and Thierry Vermeulen on pole position for the 2nd time this season. So René Rast, 157 points, is the championship leader by just 2 points from Lucas Auer, who has never left a race circuit this year without being the championship leader. He's lost it a couple of times on a Saturday night, twice to Jack Aitken, now to René Rast, but he seems to find a way to still come out of a weekend on top. Can he do it from 4th on the grid? He is 2 points behind René Rast and 3 places ahead of him on the grid. Jordan Pepper has a bit more work to do from his grid position, but he's only 3 points adrift of the championship lead. And after his point for qualifying 3rd, Jack Aitken only 7 points adrift, 4th in the championship. Thomas Preining, 11 points behind. Marco Wittmann, 11 points behind, 5th and 6th. And then Engin Nguyen, 12 points adrift. Maro Engel, 15 adrift. Jules Gounon, 23 adrift. And then a bit of a gap, 79 points adrift for the pole sitter Thierry Vermeulen. After this race, there'll be 56 points still available with the 2 qualifying sessions and 2 races to come, and a season finale at Hockenheim. So if you're not within 56 points of the championship lead, you're going to get knocked out. Ricardo Feller can't win the championship. He'd love to win a race. Came close to it earlier in the season. Would have been a first ever win in the DTM for Land. He got a podium that day, but he's looked, as I say, quick all weekend long. We're about to get then into action. A 5-time Olympian, fittingly, to hold aloft the Start Your Engines board, and Thierry Vermeulen and Ricardo Feller will lead them around the formation lap. 55 minutes plus 1 lap of racing and 2 mandatory pit stops in this race. My name's Chris Hartley, and alongside me in the commentary box, it's good afternoon to Brian Oliver.
Good afternoon, Chris. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Red Bull Ring. Such a favourite on the calendar. We've had free practices, we've had quali, we've had races. everything has been unpredictable. Surprises are plenty, and I think there's some more to come. A fairly unusual grid, I would say, but I think Jack Aitken will want to make up for the disappointment of yesterday. Lucas Al will want to get to the top of the championship.
The countdown for the leading car on the green flag. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Green flag and leading car go.
So Sven Stopper giving the instruction for the cars to start the formation lap. Interestingly, this race has been declared as a wet race. You can see clouds around. The sun's actually shining on the pit straight at the moment. But as the cars pull away from their grid boxes, it's going to be an hour ahead with a lot of unpredictability.
That's right. So a reminder of the pit stop rules for the race. Sunday's race this year features 2 mandatory pit stops and tyre changes rather than 1. And the first pit stop takes place between the 10th and 25th minute of the race. So with 45 minutes to go, the first pit window will open. The second pit window is not 15 minutes long, it's 6 minutes long. Very tight, and that's between the 39th and 45th minute of the race. But of course, if you've got to come in and change from slicks to wets, things might change. So the cars heading around, all using this fully synthetic sustainable fuel for the 2025 season. The tyres also coming from FSC certified forestry to help maintain sustainability. That's an innovation that DTM and Pirelli have brought in for this season. All on the Pirelli slick tyres. Have 3 sets of new slick tyres to last both qualifying sessions and both races on a Saturday and Sunday. And a great big crowd is here to witness it, because we got 42,500 spectators have been to the Red Bull Ring this year, which is even higher than the number we had last year, an increase over 2024. They've witnessed some great racing so far this weekend, and I've no doubt they're going to witness some more drama, some more twists and turns. How many are we going to get in the championship fight going to Hockenheim? I think it's going to be more than ever the way this season is going. It could easily be 7, 8, 9 drivers still in with a mathematical chance of the championship. Thierry Vermeulen can get a win and results go his way. It might even be 10. We're about to find out how it all unfurls, because the safety car very shortly will head into the pit lane, and Thierry Vermeulen and Ricardo Feller will effectively manage the pace. Everybody has to stay in their lane, watch the lights go out, pull the trigger and charge towards turn 1. Jack Aitken looking to rectify what happened yesterday, but he made a very good start today, a very positive attitude, put it behind him and qualified in 3rd place. So let's see what they can do. Remember the top 3 from yesterday, the 2 BMWs and Thierry Vermeulen with some success ballast on board. Only 5 kilograms for Vermeulen, who finished 3rd yesterday, 20 for Rast, 10 for Wittmann, and they're, especially Wittmann, a long way down the grid. Here we go then, round 14 of 16, DTM 2025, here at the Red Bull Ring. Now roars into life, and Thierry Vermeulen leads the charge. It's going to be side by side for 2nd place, though. Jack Aitken trying to get up the inside of Ricardo Feller to go 2nd and make it a Ferrari 1-2. Thudding over the curbs is the race leader. It's side by side between the 2 Austrians behind as well, and there's damage potentially, and contact with Marco Wittmann as one of the cars involved. Feller held off Aitken on the run up towards turn 2, so it's going to be Vermeulen, Feller. 3rd is going to be Aitken, and then Thomas Preining, who was side by side with Auer. He's slowing. Preining is crawling up the hill. Last time we saw them coming out of turn 1, they were together, the 2 Austrians, and Preining might have damage. He might have a puncture, I reckon. He's right at the back of the field. So Auer got through that battle in 4th place. Fabio Scherer, he's trying to get involved as well. 3 of them together now. Fabio Scherer goes down the middle of Feller and Auer, slices between them, barges them out of the way, and tries to get through to 3rd place. Did he make it? Let's have a look as they come through. More action in the midfield here with Jordan Pepper trying to get through and up the order. But it is going to be Vermeulen, Feller, Aitken, Auer in 4th, Scherer in 5th, René Rast in 6th place, and a spin for Nicky Tim going into turn 6, but he beautifully controls it. Does a 360, gets pointed back in the right direction. I bet that's Thomas Preining's tyre, isn't it? Because, he's shed that left rear. So he was, as I say, side by side with Lucas Auer coming out of turn 1. I'm pretty sure he was on the inside Preining, so it would have been the left side of Preining's car rubbing with Auer's car. as Ben Durr goes now absolutely together with Max Powell trying to get himself up into the points. There goes one of the markers. That's to Mario Engel. It's the outside one, actually, as Rennie Rast in the background, right underneath the rear wing of Fabio Scherer into turn one. But with all this weight on the car, 20 kg for the success ballast, another 15 kilograms heavier thanks to the BOP change. Vermeulen leads after the end of the first lap by 0.3 of a second. That gap, though, comes down as they go up the hill into the right-hander at turn 2. Feller in second, he's right with him and looking to go up the inside as they go into the corner. Arjen Goon is looking to get up the inside of Arjen Mine. He does, he goes straight on, and Mario Engel now tries to blast past the pair of them with a much better exit in the number 24 Mercedes. He goes to the grass, he's got Miney, and he's going to get Goon as well. Fantastic driving that from Mario Engel. Back at them comes Arjen Miney. There's not going to be any way through there. And in the background, Jules Gounon and Ben Green make contact. Green at the inside, contact again. Green barging and touching then the side of Gounon's cars. Gounon tries to get back on the track. And here comes Arjen Miney trying to get at the inside and succeeding in doing so of Arjen Gounon. His teammate, I can see from the commentary box, has just come in. Thomas Preining with just 3 wheels on the car. So we had Maurice Skuring with a puncture in qualifying, and now because of contact, Thomas Preining very quickly released by Manthey, having a pit stop, dropping right to the back of the field. Vermeulen leads, Feller second, Aitken third, Auer in 4th place. It's like a last day of school, this, Brian.
Well, that was lively, wasn't it? And it's still more to come. It was Timo Glock who I think got together with Marco Wittmann. That's been investigated by the race stewards, but the first 2 have broken clear. That Jack Aitken just struggling a little bit, falling back in 3rd place. There's a bollard stuck to the front of Lucas Auer's car. I think it might have had track limits there somewhere along the way. But there we go. The first 2 cars have broken clear of Jack Aitken, and there's smoke coming from the Manthey car at the front up there. So Thomas Preining, a long way back anyway. Yeah,
being lapped. So Preining has to get out of the way. Goes a lap down to the top 2 as they make their way past. On board now with Lucas Auer, who's behind Fabio Scherer. Jack Aitken slowing. No, what's happened now? That car is crawling out of turn 3. Jack Aitken's weekend, which could have been amazing, has turned into an utter nightmare. You can see him there to the right of the picture, crawling, trying to stay out of everybody's way, just trying to get the car back. And he was running in 3rd place. And what has happened? He could have had a double podium here this weekend, and he may well come away with, apart from the points he scored in qualifying, nothing from the races. Has he got a puncture as well?
I think he has.
Car looks down on the right
rear. Right rear.
Yeah, car looked down on the angle, so he's a puncture as well. So we'll get back in the race, but he's got a long way to try and drag that car back. Absolute heartache. What could have gone worse for him, really, since the last lap of yesterday's race? Vermeulen leads, Feller is second, and Auer and Scherer swap positions. So Scherer, I reckon, is going to be in a podium position when he comes past the commentary box next. He is, yeah. Thomas Preining's in between them, a lap down. Scherer up to 3rd place, Auer 4th, Rast 5th, and Engel up to 6th.
Ben Green's been given a penalty lap for causing a collision with Jules Gounon, so he's going to have to visit the penalty box. Green, who's currently in 9th place, that's going to add about 5 seconds onto his lap time and drop him down. Fabio Scherer in problems as well. Now, is this a puncture or is this mechanical? He peels off. I think it's mechanical because he doesn't look like he's going to even try to get back to the pits.
Oh, that was such a good start to the race for Fabio Scherer as well.
He's up to 3rd.
Preining and he's trying to stay out everybody else's way. Now, this is ironic. Who's behind Thomas Preining? Lucas Auer. Who do you think he might have come together with at turn 1? Lucas Auer. A quick note on Ben Green as well. He has, when you get 3 warnings, driver warnings, you get a 5-place grid penalty. He's had one of those already. I think he's had a 4th and a 5th warning since then. If you have a 6th, you get a 10-place grid penalty at the next race. So trouble ahead for Emil Frey Racing, and they've got to change that right rear of Jack Aitken's car. I wonder what happened there. We didn't see whether there was any kind of contact, whether it's just gone on its own. But that's 3 punctures today that we've now had, isn't it? 1 in qualifying and 2 at the start of this race.
I reckon Jack Aitken's trip to the racetrack at the beginning of this week must have involved walking under ladders. He's going to be pleased to put this behind him and head to Hockenheim. So Fabio Scherer drops out of 3rd place. So you said this at the start. Lucas Auer has a habit of popping up, doesn't he? He's in a podium position, although just behind him, championship leader René Rast, as we see confirmation of that penalty lap that's been awarded to Ben Green.
Arjen Mine that is up to 6th place. So it's not all bad news for HRT and Ford Mustang fans. So he's going well. He's actually set the absolute best first sector last time out. Right, let's have a look at a replay of the start. Keep your eyes on the Grello Porsche, the bright yellow and green Porsche. Side by side here into turn 1. He's on the inside of Lucas Auer. The two Austrians, the home heroes, go through that corner together. Both go wide. There, Auer comes back across, as he has to avoid the barrier. And that was where the contact happened. And that, I'm pretty sure, is what caused the left rear puncture for Thomas Preining, which could, again, have put a big dent in his title hopes. And there was that contact. Ben Durr involved, and side by side with Marco Wittmann, who got a proper tank slapper on. He was horizontal to the track, wasn't he? But 90 degree to the rest of the field. He managed to rescue it and avoid a spin somehow. Great reactions from Marco Wittmann, who is at the moment 15th in the race.
Race control had actually flagged Timo Glock as the cause of that, so it may have been the other Durr Motorsport car, as we look again at the rubber separating from the left rear of the number 91 car, and giving Thomas Preining a very long afternoon ahead of him. So you can see how rough it was at the start. That was Nicky Tim getting turned around to come to you, Aston Martin scattering in all directions. Maurice Schurring did well to keep out of that one as well. So he was turned around kind of midway through the track. We're already 2.25 minutes away from the pit window opening. A massive crowd of over 40,000 people, 41,500 people I think it is here today, witnessing some great racing in DTM. They're witnessing these two cars that have broken well clear. So Thierry Vermeulen and Ricardo Feller, they are some 4.3 seconds clear of Lucas Auer. But look at Arjun Maini coming up through the pack and already challenging championship leader René Rast for 4th place.
And Rast has got all this weight on the car, remember, from his victory yesterday, and he's thinking about championship points. Arjun Maini is not thinking about championship points. He's just going for it. He loves this place. Arjun was on pole here last year in the HRT Mercedes, got 2 third-place finishes. Let's see what he can do now. Lots of drama before the race yesterday. Had to change the gearbox, but the car was good in the race. Both of the Mustangs were. Look at this. He's going to whip around the outside of him, potentially. Carry the momentum through. René Rast thinks, do you know what? I'll let you go, Arjun. I'm not fighting you for championship points, but he will lose points because of that. So René Rast now demoted to 5th place. That costs him a couple of points. If it were to finish like this, and that is a massive, massive, massive if, guess who'd be the championship leader tonight? Lucas Auer. 171 points as it stands, 168 for René Rast and 161 for Jordan Pepper, then 154 for Arjun Nguyen as it stands. You got Marco Wittmann only just in the points at the moment in 15th place. He's only scoring 1. Thomas Preining is scoring none at the moment, and Jack Aitken is scoring none.
Wow, what a lively start to the race. So we're heading towards the pit window opening. Arjun Maini has had a podium here in the past. He loves this place. He's worked his way past René Rast. The lead 2 have broken clear though. 4.7 seconds from Lucas Auer. Arjun Maini was 1.7 seconds back, but that is closing up, I think, because the Mustang is coming through. René Rast just picking up a slipstream behind him.
The number 2 car of Nicky Tim, which we saw getting into a spin at turn 6 on lap 1. No further investigation into that. The other Sportsline Lamborghini has had a good start to the race. Mirko Bortolotti up there in 8th place, his best finish of the season so far. Coming at the Lausitz ring, a 6th place finish for the defending champion. So Vermeulen leads by 0.7 of a second. Feller is in 2nd place, Auer 3rd, Arjun Maini and René Rast squabbling over 4th place. Maini coming out on top on the previous lap as we saw, and then Maro Engel is the next to start to try and track down that bright blue number 33 Schubert BMW. The green Porsche in the background is Arjun Nguyen, full-time race winner this season. Bortolotti, Pepper and Gounon in the top 10 as well.
The incident between Nicola Bart and Maurice Schurring is under investigation by race control, so clearly they've been having their battles as well. Right, pit window is open. Who is going to blink first? Everybody's staying out at the moment. They've got plenty of time. They've got 15 minutes, or now 14.25 minutes remaining to come in for their stop. And still, Lucas Auer carrying that bollard, and we're going to come in and dispatch that. I love the way that is just glued to the front of the car.
Doesn't seem to be slowing him down too much, that's for sure.
Oh, here come a load.
Here come a load into the pits, absolutely right, early on in the stop then for Magnus, Wittmann, Durr, Green and Schurring. So basically the drivers towards the back of the field opting to come in early for the first stop. Rears are changed first and then fronts. Incidentally, we could get, and I said this yesterday, but it's closer to happening now, we could get the first championship decided as a rare error in the pits there for Come To You Racing, who've been really excellent of late at their pit stops. So that will put Gilles Magnus to the back of the queue. Wittmann is going to be the leading pit stopper, leading that queue of cars out. And he was running in 15th place just before the pit window opened. 26 points for Winward Racing on the pit stop challenge. The fastest 3 pit stops per race awarded points, 3, 2 and 1 like in qualifying. They're 6 points clear of Schubert. Schubert kept the championship alive yesterday by getting the 3rd fastest pit stop of the season and their quickest pit stop of 2025. So there's 6 points between Winward and Schubert, but if there's 6 points or more between them at the end of this race, there's only 6 points still available at Hockenheim, then Winward would take the title. They've had 2 of the 3 quickest pit stops this year. One of them coming for Jules Gounon at the Norris Ring. He is the next one to head into the pits. So he comes in now, the first of the top 10 runners to come in. Tom Callender coming in behind him. Also, Timo Glock, who's running in the points at the moment, makes his way into the pits. And then it looks like Nicky Tim is 4th in that queue for AB Sportsline. Thierry Vermeulen, meanwhile, has had his lead cut down a little bit by Ricardo Feller, because Ricardo set the fastest lap last time around, a 1:29.4, to be about 0.2 of a second quicker than the Dutchman.
Ricardo Feller's looked dialed in all weekend. He's certainly keeping Vermeulen in sight, and this could all change very much in the pit stops. That is AB Sportsline getting to work, and Nicky Tim joining just in front of Timo Glock, but we've still got plenty of cars yet to come in. Yeah, Nicky gaining a place there on the German driver. Right there to the right, another German driver, Marco Wittmann. He's the leading pit stopper, running 15th before all this happened, so his tyres are up to temperature. Same is true of Ben Durr and Murray Skuring and Ben Green, and Gilles Magnus just behind. So those cars coming out of the pits are going to be vulnerable to them. But Jules Gounon should be well clear, because remember, he was running in the top 10 before he made his stop, and he is the leading pit stop. He's just coming out of turn 3. So Gounon in the number 48 Winward car. Then it is Callender, 2nd of the pit stoppers, and at the moment it is Nicky Tim, 3rd of the pit stoppers, but on cold tyres. The absolute race leaders are coming through the picture at the moment, and Jordan Pepper, 3rd in the championship, makes his way into the pits now. The South African has been making the most of a car which hasn't been as competitive here as has been at other circuits. Part of that maybe to do with just not suiting the circuit, part of it maybe to do with BOP changes and a much smaller air restrictor on the car than it's experienced before. Smallest one ever, apparently, which I reckon costs 0.4 of a second per lap. Car 7 under investigation, Gilles Magnus, for an infringement in the pit stop, which we saw the end product of that. Hitting the mark perfectly then, with Noah Follier as one of the crew to look after Jordan Pepper's car, is the South African. And look how rapid that was. That was looking excellent to me. It was 6.7 seconds. That's the second fastest one of the race so far. You see it on board like that, on board the helmet, and you see how frantic, how hard work it is, and so much pressure. Meanwhile, Archer Miney has just set an absolute best in Sector 1, so the driver in 4th place still pressing on. He's got purple in Sector 1. It's confirmation of that investigation for Gilles Magnus for the potential pit stop infringement. The lead 2 have continued to break even further clear of Lucas House, so 5.2 seconds. But Thierry Vermeulen is not disappearing off up the road, is he? Ricardo Feller keeping him well within range.
Pepper got out ahead of Gounon, but he's being caught by Gounon, whose tyres are already up to temperature. So Pepper at turn 4 at the moment is the leading pit stopper. Incidentally, this won't count, but we have had the quickest pit stop of the whole year, maybe of DTM history earlier on, because having only had to change one tyre with his puncture, Thomas Priding came in at the start of the race. Manthey got him in and out in less than 3 seconds, 2.8 seconds. Eat that, Formula One.
Archer Miney is the quickest man on the track at 1:29.4. He took the fastest lap from Jack Aitken, who had put in the quickest lap just prior to that. Right, in comes Luca Engstler. This is from 9th place. So in he comes. The Grasser Racing crew are poised and ready to get the wheels changed on that car.
Yeah, no mistake about where he had to go. The Lollipop man doing a great job there. Again, Noah Foley, who's had just a few moments to limber up between pit stops, working on the front right. That looks slick as well. Hey. Engstler underway, even quicker, that one, 6.6 seconds. Great job by Grasser, the Austrian team, hoping to get some Good results here in that home circuit. There's Pepper going through shot, Gounon going through shot. They're the leading 2 pit stoppers, and Engstler's going to come out, I think, in between them when he comes out of the pits. He'll be on cold tyres, so he should, I think, drop behind. He's already behind Pepper, his teammate. I think he'll probably drop behind Gounon somewhere at turn 3 or maybe at turn 4 as well. But look at these two, Vermeulen and Feller pushing on. They are now 6 or 5 seconds clear of Lucas Auer in 3rd place. Wait for it. Here he comes, Lucas Auer in 3rd. Arjamaini in 4th place. René Rast, despite the weight on the car, in 5th. Maro Engel hasn't really made any inroads into him for the last few laps. And then it looked like Mirko Bortolotti was the next one from the top 10 to come in. So Mirko, the reigning champion, in. We've already seen one good pit stop from Abt for Nicky Tim. A sub 7-second pit stop. Let's see what the champion can come up with in this race with absolutely nothing to lose.
Thierry Vermeulen, race leader, has been shown the black and white flag for track limits on turn 9. He might think it's an excuse because the bollards have actually gone. One of them stuck to the front of Lucas Auer's car. But yeah, he needs to be careful there with track limits as the Abt Sportsline team get to work on Mirko Bortolotti's car off the jacks, and out into the fast lane he comes.
The leading pit stopper is Jordan Pepper, who is just making his way out of the final corner as Mirko heads to the white line that tells you you're out the pit lane. You can pull the trigger, no more pit lane speed limit. So Mirko is at the moment the leading pit stopper, then Jordan Pepper, then Jules Gounon, who did manage to find a way past Luca Engstler, who is 4th of the pit stoppers, and they're all heading up to turn 3 as the absolute outright race leader at turn 8 is being put under more and more pressure here by Ricardo Feller. So Vermeulen, even if it were to stay like this, even though he's winning the race, would still be too far behind the championship leader to stay in mathematical contention for the championship. But you know what, Brian, I don't think he's actually even thinking about that. No. He just wants to get his maiden race victory.
Yeah, he's come so close so many times before, has it cruelly stolen away. Is Ricardo Feller going to be the one to break his heart? The two cars seem to be very much in a class of their own at the moment. They're 5.493 clear of Lucas Auer, but Ricardo Feller just pressuring him all the way. And we saw what happened yesterday. When you pressure the driver in front, you keep pushing and pushing, you can force a mistake, and Ricardo Feller will not need much of an opportunity to get past.
So Jordan Pepper, I can see from the track map that we get in the commentary box, has found a way past Mirko Bortolotti whilst Mirko gets his tyres up to temperature. So Pepper into turn 9 is the leading pit stopper, followed by Bortolotti, followed by Gounon and Engstler. Max Powell now in. Really dismal weekend it's been, hasn't it, for Max, after this is the track where he made his debut back in the Class 1 era for a guest appearance in the DTM Championship. He was on the front row of the grid last year, but he's had a pretty horrible weekend. All sorts of issues with the car for Max Powell and the team. Powell Motorsport, who really do punch above their weight with much, much smaller budget than many of the established teams in this DTM category. So that looks like he is out of the running. You can see there, that's the corner where Jack Aitken dropped it off the road yesterday, that Thierry Vermeulen is having to use plenty of the curbs to try and keep ahead of that man. That's coming out of turn 8. They're into turn 9 now. Ricardo Feller looking to get Land Motorsport's first ever win, having led much of the race at the Nürburgring, ended up 3rd, which was a great result. Just ran out of tyres at the end of that race. Jack Aitken into the pits for what will be his first mandatory stop.
So both the leading cars staying out late in the window. They can still get a couple more laps in if they choose to. Meanwhile, Emil Frey, looks like a bit slow getting off the jacks for them. They practice so much, all of these teams do, but finally Jack Aitken is released. He goes out, so that was a stop. 7.3, so right. Not too bad, actually.
Yeah, that was good, a good stop. So Preining is in the pit lane at the moment as well. Nose to tail between the top two. And Thierry Vermeulen, great to see this, isn't it? You kind of get this quite often at a championship finale where everybody's concentrated on the championship and somebody else goes and gets on the podium or wins the race. Arjamaini did it in that astonishing season finale we had in 2021 when Liam Lawson, Kelvin van der Linde and Maxi Goetz were all going for the championship title. It was Arjamaini that became sort of slightly discreetly, because everybody was focused on the championship, the first ever Indian driver to get on the podium that weekend. We had Luca Engstler, I remember, in the final round at Hockenheim last year, winning the race, but again sort of slightly overshadowed by the fact everybody was talking about the championship and Mirko Bortolotti winning it. But we've gone around early this time. We're not on the championship decider. We have got two non-championship contenders going hell for leather for the race win, and they both are absolutely uninterested in finishing second in this race. Wide. But Thierry Vermeulen down the inside goes the Audi, and Ricardo Feller into the lead of the race.
Well, if he wanted to come into the pits that time around, he didn't have much choice because Ricardo Feller was on the inside of him, so they're definitely going round for another one now. So can Thierry Vermeulen respond? Remember, he's going to have a slipstream now out of turn 1. This is a really fast part of the track. Ricardo Feller hustling the Audi across the curb. So now Thierry Vermeulen will have a slipstream effect. So can he make the challenge as they head up the hill towards turn 3? He might duck to the outside. I think Feller will have this covered off. He does look to the outside as we switch to Aynchan Nguyen in the pits. So Manthey EMA getting to work on the number 90 car. But at the moment, advantage Feller.
Great effort from Manthey again, 6.2 seconds for Nguyen stationary time. Nose to tail, Feller managed to fend off Vermeulen up at turn 3. They're downhill into turn 4 now. See how you like it, says Thierry Vermeulen. How do you fancy having somebody breathing down your neck? I'll give you some treatment now, says the young Dutchman. Great battle. The Swiss driver leads, though, after just that slight run wide by the Ferrari driver. Remember, Vermeulen has had now 3 pole positions. Twice he started a race on pole, one at the Sachsenring last year, one at the Norris Ring this year, and both times he hasn't won the race, and definitely through no fault of his own last year at the Sachsenring, because it was a pit stop penalty that did for him. He had to serve a drive through the penalty box, lost 5 seconds, dropped to 3rd place, and was absolutely forlorn when he was on the podium. Finished 3rd again from pole at the Norris Ring earlier this season. Could it be 3rd time lucky? Well, at the moment, no is the answer, because Ricardo Feller is in front of us, just about getting out of the way as Maro Engel is René Rast as he dives at the last second into the pits. So the championship leader in.
This is going to be real pressure for the teams for the lead cars, because they're all going to come in together next time around, because the pit window only has 2.25 minutes remaining in it. So I reckon Ricardo Feller and Thierry Vermeulen are going to come in at the same time. Meanwhile, René Rast, yesterday's winner, coming in looking for the Schubert Motorsport pit, making sure he stays below the pit lane speed limit. So the crew will get to work. Rear tyres first. The car's up on the jacks, all done nice and neat. Now to the front, here they come. The old wheels off, the new wheels on, off the jacks. That looked like a really good stop for René Rast, 6.3. So Schubert Motorsport doing a great job there. But with 1.75 minutes remaining in the pit window, we're going to see 1st and 2nd and 3rd in the pit lane at the same time.
Emil Frei's average pit stop with their 3 cars this year has been 8.3 seconds. Land have had an average of 8.6 seconds. So there's not much between them. Emil Frey been slightly the quicker. And Land, remember, had that issue with the front right wheel nut yesterday, which cost Ricardo Feller a chance of some very good points. He was on course for a top 6 finish as Jordan Pepper gets right underneath Aynchan Nguyen here. Remember, Jordan's tyres well up to temperature. He came to the pits quite a few laps ago, whereas Aynchan has only just gone out. And in they come then together. Also, bear in mind, Lucas Auer behind them, 4.8 seconds behind his team, are mega at pit stops, the Landgraf team. They average 7.7 seconds. And then in behind comes Arjun Maini for HRT. So the top 4 all having to come in as the pit window is in its final minute now. Proper race this between the pit crews. No pressure, lads. Here we go. So rears then fronts. There happens to Feller. Auer coming in. Maini is looking pretty good on his pit stop as well. And there goes Ricardo Feller in the background. And who's going to get out first? Is it going to be Vermeulen? Is it going to be Feller? Auer, is he going to get out in front of Maini? No, he's not. Auer's going to lose 3rd place potentially to Maini here. So Maini on course for a podium position. Great work by the HRT squad. Lucas Auer's stop was bad. That's why 9.1 seconds. So that was the issue for him. And it looks like Ricardo Feller is ahead of Thierry Vermeulen by an increased advantage. Looking at the track map, they're up at turn 3. So Jack Aitken making his way out at turn 3 at the moment. Into that corner goes Feller, then goes Vermeulen, and then we've got Maini ahead of Auer now, and then Maro Engel with a really good pit stop. Maro Engel, 6 seconds dead. Look at this, side by side. Jordan Pepper trying to go all around the outside of Aynchan Nguyen. 2 key championship protagonists. Almost touched, but they don't. Great driving by both. Absolutely millimetre precise. But the Turkish driver might be behind, but he's going to have the better line going into turn 4, which is coming up next. He knows it. He stays on the racing line. Pepper knows it as well. Has to tuck back in behind him.
Wow, great door-to-door racing here. I love the fact Ricardo Feller, Land Motorsport, they're like, we might be new to DTM, but we know how to do pit stops, so that's exactly what they've done. So Feller in the lead, holding it from Thierry Vermola. But look at this, Jordan Pepper now to the inside of Ian Nguyen. Sees the opportunity, slices through with the Lamborghini. A bit of damage to the front of Ian Nguyen's car as well. But the Lamborghini is passed and through.
That was a lovely move from Jordan Pepper, wasn't it? Very nicely done. So he gets through. It's took a while to get past Ian, but he is through. Jack Aitken desperately needs a safety car in this race. He has managed to stay on the lead lap but he's only just in front of the actual race leader, Ricardo Feller. So he's just about kept himself on the lead lap. Safety car might just get him back into some sort of chance of scoring some sort of points out of what's been a really horrible weekend for him in the end, after looking so promising with 95% of yesterday's race done. So Feller through the shot, Vermeulen losing out to him in that pit stop. So Ricardo Feller's pit stop time was very good, 7.2 seconds. Well done to Land Motorsport. It was a good one as well, 7.6 for Vermeulen, but 0.4 of a second helps the Swiss driver to extend his advantage. Arjun Maini, third place in the Ford. Could we get a first podium in the DTM for a Ford Mustang? It would be a third podium in 4 attempts in the last 2 years at this track for Arjun as well, if he can do it. He'd love every round to be here, I reckon. Lucas Serra is 4th, Maro Engel is 5th, Rennie Rast 6th, Jordan Pepper with that move and Ian Nguyen 7th. Mirko Bortolotti lost a place during that pit stop phase. He's down to 9th. Jules Gunn on his 10th. Luca Engster 11th. Tom Callender going well in 12th. Nicky Tim in the points in 13th. As we get a replay of brave attempt to go around the outside from Jordan Pepper. Yeah. And then you're going to watch him dart down the inside of you on the next corner as well. That couldn't have been much closer, could it?
They spend hours in the wind tunnels just getting on all these little winglets perfectly angled, and they just go scattering when they're overtaking each other. Hey, look who's quickest on the track. Gilles Magnus. He's down in 19th place at the moment, but he's just put in the quickest lap of the race.
Yeah, Marco Wittmann has moved himself up to 14th during that pit stop phase, so a small win. He was 15th, so he's going to get 2 points rather than 1 now. Very disgruntled yesterday after not winning the race from pole position, as we discussed in qualifying this morning. So we've lost Max Powell, we lost Fabio Scherer, 22 cars still running, all of them, including that car. Jack Aitken still on the lead lap. Right, Ricardo Feller. Well, they've had a couple of things go wrong in pit stops this season when in very good circumstances and on for a good result. But Land really pulled one out of the bag there. That was an excellent effort by the team. Remember, they weren't even meant to be in the DTM this year. Ricardo was meant to be driving a Porsche. That team fell through, and they got the old gang back together from his GT Masters winning days in 2021. And very experienced team, but new to DTM, doing a fantastic job. Thierry Vermeulen in 2nd place, Arjun Maini in 3rd. And they're all relatively well spread out now, 2.2 seconds between the top 2. But it's close behind Maini, isn't it? Auer, Engel and Rast really breathing down his neck.
On the previous lap, Ricardo Feller was about 3/10 quicker than 2nd place Thierry Vermeulen, so he's got the pace there, hasn't he? He's in a 1:30.770 last time round. Everybody behind was in the 1:31s, all the way down to René Rast. He's in the 1:30s as well, so Rast is quicker than any of the 5 cars that are in front of him. As we look at a replay, oh, there go the bollards. I love the fact that Lucas Auer has still got that bollard there. He even came into the pits. They haven't got time to remove that. You've got to get it in and get it out again. He actually picked up all 3 of them. He threw 2 of them over his shoulder, 1 of them wedged behind the Mercedes badge, highlighting the 3-pointed star. So there, Arjun Maini in 3rd place, Lucas Auer behind him in replay. And now, finally, the bollard has had enough of holding on and exits stage and left all on its own accord. Right, there's the leader. There is 2nd place. They're well clear of 3rd place, Arjun Maini. The gap between 2nd and 3rd, 6.6 seconds at the moment.
So René Rast lost out to Maro Engel in that pit stop phase, didn't he? Excellent pit stop once again from Winwood, helping the cause, and that means that he's now 6th, means he's scoring a point less than he was, and got Lucas Auer ahead of him in 4th. So René Rast would be 1 point clear at the end of the race as it stands. 1 point behind Lucas Auer as it stands. Auer 168, Rast 167, Pepper 163, 5 points between all 3 of those drivers. And then very closely matched behind as well with Nguyen and Engel on 153 points each. Engel has been sort of quietly going about his business this weekend and yesterday, hasn't he? They haven't maybe been the most competitive cars at this track, the Mercedes. But a bit like Lucas Sauer, Maro Engel just finds a way. He keeps being there in the points, keeps being knocking on the door, gets podiums when he can. And no doubt about it, for the second year running, he's on his way to Hockenheim as a championship contender.
That's what he always does, isn't it? He kind of flies under the radar, nothing too dramatic. As you say, last year, exactly the same, just always there, picking up the points, and that's how championships are won, isn't it? By him, Rene Rast, yesterday's winner, though, in the BMW. Jordan Pepper rushing to join that queue as well. Arjun Maini up at the front of that lot.
Yeah, so fella's last lap time was quicker than the whole queue that's behind him, 129.8. The next 5 cars all in the low 1 minute 30s. Jordan Pepper, though, is also going rapidly, 129.8 for him as well. It was half a second quicker than Rene Rast on the most recent lap. So Pepper is going to join the party. Super slow-mo of some great drifting there going through the turn. That's brilliant through here. You know, this lovely shot yesterday, that one remaining. Is it a daffodil? I don't know much about flowers. Nice
it's
yellow
a dandelion,
flower.
Chris.
Dandelion,
it's a dandelion. It's a tulip.
Mrs. Hartley does the gardening in our family, not me. It's a very nice flower and a very nice artistic
weed
shot.
It's a weed.
There's our race leader, Ricardo Fella. Thierry Vermeulen keeping him honest, but lost that time in the pit stop. Can he gain it back in the next phase? Arjun Maini, could he be the hero for HRT, for Ford? Loads of Ford fans here. It'll be another podium for Arjun after the heartbreak that happened earlier for Fabio Scherer. Remember, he was looking for he was in a podium position and the car let go on him very early on in the race. So he's third, Auer's fourth, Engel's fifth, Rast, Pepper and Guin, Bortolotti and Guin in the top 10. This is a replay of Ben Green versus the Aston Martin of Gilles Magnus, and Gilles Magnus won that one because having to take evasive action was Ben Green. His racing line was stolen. Not there was any contact between them, but he ran out of road and 2 wheels through the gravel for Ben, who's now down to 19th place as a result of that.
Magnus is still the fastest man on the track at 129.4, so he's still got the fastest lap of the race. Right, we're 6 minutes away from the next pit window opening, so the pressure is going to be back on the crews. Land Motorsport certainly rose to the occasion, didn't they? At the moment, Fella has a 2.6 second gap over Thierry Vermeulen, so he's managed to break clear in the Audi. Arjun Maini is taken about a 10th out of Thierry Vermeulen, but certainly nowhere near close enough to challenge. He's 6.3 down the road.
Quickest driver last time around, and with a personal best, that was Tom Callender, the other Landgraf Mercedes teammate to Lucas Sauer. Having a solid weekend here. He's becoming a very consistent point scorer. Remember, he's just a teenager. He's the youngest ever driver at 17 to compete in the DTM, having become the youngest ever driver to win the GT Masters Championship last year. And he's also kind of quietly going about his business, consistently being up there in the top 15 now, knocking on the door of the top 10. And I reckon doing a pretty solid job. So Tom Callender, very quick at the moment, trying to catch Luca Engstler for what would be 11th place. He knows he's got a team that will give him a quick pit stop as well. Race laps for Wells in Africa, pushing up towards 50,000 euros now raised across the course of the season, with €4 per lap, and all the laps combined donated to help with increasing and improving the condition of water in a couple of African countries. An initiative by BWT, Best Water Technology, and the ADAC, which has run for a couple of years now, does a fantastic job. So that'll be over the 50,000 mark for the season by the time we get to the end of this race.
Fantastic stuff. A message on the screen saying car 7 to change positions with car 7. That's going to be interesting. That'll be Gilles Magnus. I think it's meant to be car 10. In fact, that has now happened. So Ben Green is back in front of Gilles Magnus. So the race director, Sven Stopper, has decided that that move wasn't a legal move. So Ben Green back up to 18.
So we saw the end of the move where there was no contact, but maybe there was some contact on the way into the corner, which is what sent then Ben Green off into the gravel truck. Right, Rene Rast trying to get his place back here from Maro Engel, running in 5th and 6th positions, these two drivers, and catching them all the time with a bit more bodywork coming off the car, disintegrating that Lamborghini, isn't it? Is Jordan Pepper, who again has had a bit like Maro Engel, hasn't been with a car that's quick enough to challenge for a podium, but has scored good points in both the races so far. So Jordan doing an excellent job as ever. And of course, one of the drivers he'd definitely like to beat in terms of points in this race is right in front of him, René Rast. Confirmation of the very sizable crowd that we've had here across the course of the weekend of 42,500 spectators.
Wow. That's 1,000 more than I said, so that's very impressive. 42,500 with the queue to get into the circuit both days there. Right, look at René Rast here in 6th place. He's lining up 5th place, Mauro Engel. So yesterday's winner, remember, he's got the success ballast on board. Doesn't seem to be slowing him down too much. Has a little look to the outside into turn 3, then out of turn 3 they come. They'll try and get to the inside line, but Mauro Engel hasn't covered off under acceleration. They head down towards turn 4. Jordan Pepper just waiting in the wings behind them. So it's turn 4. Trying to sell the dummy a little bit, goes to the inside, ducks to the outside. René Rast not able to make a move there, gets up close with Mauro Engel out of turn 4 towards turn 5. Engel has this covered off at the moment. The fight for 5th place and 6th and 7 rages on behind them, Ain Nguyen.
Yeah, then Mirko Bortolotti having a decent race in 9th place, decent in the context of this year for the development of that car from Amp's point of view, the Hurricane. Not decent from what he's used to, of course, as a reigning champion, Mirko Bortolotti, but he has been uber professional in the way he's dealt with the many challenges that have been thrown at him and the team this season. He keeps fighting, he keeps working hard, and his attitude, and this has been confirmed by the team, has been absolutely exemplary this year. So hats off to Mirko. Home race in a sense for Mirko, because he's lived for a few years now in Vienna, the Italian. Just see him there going through the shot over the start-finish line, not too far behind Ain Nguyen. So that might be a gap to watch shortly. And if there's one thing you know about Mirko Bortolotti, if there's a chance to go for it, he'll absolutely go for it.
He certainly will. He was rehearsing in the International GT Open at this circuit last weekend, and just not that he needs any practice, really, is it? At the front, Ricardo Fellas just stretched his legs a bit more. He's almost to 3 seconds from Thierry Vermeulen now, so looking to have the pace. René Rast starting to look impatient, isn't he? Mauro Engel, very wise driver, knows where to position that Mercedes, but René Rast is doing exactly what he did last time as they head in towards turn 4. Actually, maybe a little bit further back than he was last time around.
So now as a driver, you start to think, okay, when are we going to come into the pits then? It's a very short window, this 6-minute window. Do we do what others do? Do we try and do something different? If we all go together, we're going to hold each other up. So this is something to consider. But if you are kind of stuck in your battle, you're not making any way through, it might be an opportunity to just try something slightly different. Either come in early or come in pretty late in the pit stop window. So they'll be having thoughts about this now down in the garages, and having maybe the conversation with the drivers as it stands. Although René Rast is absolutely laser focused at the moment in trying to keep Mauro Engel behind him. Your race leader comes through shot then, a Nürburgring 24-hour race winner, a 2-time race winner in the DTM, a GT Masters champion. And it's been 2 years since Ricardo Fella stood atop the DTM podium at Zandvoort in 2023. This surely would go down as his greatest achievement. That man always looks very calm, doesn't he? Torsten Schubert there to the right of the picture, a cup of tea or coffee or whatever it is in hand. Never ever seems to get flustered. It's all going pretty well though for his driver, René Rast. We can come away from this weekend, bearing in mind how difficult it is to get two really good results across the DTM weekend, Michelin Ain Nguyen at Sachsenring, then I think he'll be well pleased with a front row start, a win, and a top 6 finish on Sunday.
Our race leaders are at turn 6 at the moment, only Jack Aitken ahead of him, so now the decisions will come when to peel off into the pits, whether to come in early or to come in late. I reckon that Ricardo Fella and Land Motorsport might want to stay out because they've got a nice clear track in front of him. His pace is excellent at the moment, 129.994 last time around, one of the quickest drivers on the track. So I reckon, you watch how wrong I am here. I reckon he's going to stay out. It's turn 9. He comes. Well, hey, I got it right. Out of turn 10, past the pit entrance. So Thierry Vermeulen behind. He stays out as well. But remember, there's only 6 minutes If you leave it late, you might get in a traffic jam in the pits as well, because a lot of cars are likely to come in together.
Luca Exler, Tom Callender coming in. Jack Aiken is already into the pits, so dress rehearsal for Emil Frey. We're working on Jack's car now, so we'll go lap down for the time being, but he's got his mandatory second stop now out of the way. 8.1 seconds, that one's not quite as hot as the original stop. Exler and Callender in. Also Nicky Tim and Timo Glock coming in to make their stops. Ben Green in the background and Thomas Preining in the background as well, both out of the points at the moment. So it is only another 4 3/4 minutes for everybody else to come in and make their stops. This is where it all gets very frantic. The big thing about race 2, Brian, is that you really do realise what a team sport this is, because the input now of 2 pit stops, 2 performance pit stops is massive. Front right. Why is it always the front right that goes on these cars? It's
just machining it.
Yeah.
Just machining it. You saw the swarf flying off into the air. They can't get the thing off, can they? Now it's got no teeth on it. Oh,
is that contact related maybe from the race?
Might be. Yeah, might be.
Damage. So Ben Green's day has turned dramatically wrong, hasn't it? So not a good Sunday, I'm afraid, for Ben. He's been in really good form lately. There is Ricardo Fella. He's going to stay out for another lap. Can pick and choose what he does here. His lap time's still good. A 1:30.003 was 0.2 quicker than Thierry Vermeulen on the most recent lap. Slightly quicker than both of them was Arjun Maini, but only by a few thousandths of a second. In comes Mirko Bortolotti, then the champion, to make his stop for Abs. But all of the key front runners, everybody in the top 8 has stayed out for the time being. Maini running through shot, Auer running through shot. Auer would be by 1 point the championship leader as it stands. Well, they can't bring Thierry Vermeulen in yet, because they've got to get Ben Green's car out of the way, so that might have changed what they were thinking about doing potentially. Maybe they weren't anyway. We'll never know. But as it stands, we're going to go to Hockenheim, Brian, with 9 drivers that could win the championship. Yes. I'm going to have to go through the records in the next couple of weeks, but I can't remember there ever been 9 drivers that could win the championship. That was close. Mirko Bortolotti, Marco Wittmann, 3 championship titles between them, and also a big dent in between them as well, but they just avoided one another.
The team, really, the pressure is on here, isn't it? Yeah, I was about to say, Emil Frey might have 2 pit boxes on account of having 3 cars, but you can't pit a car into the same box if there's somebody there that has broken down. Well, Ben Green never broke down, they just couldn't get the wheel off, and I think they've decided enough's enough. Pushed it back into the garage in a hurry, so Thierry Vermeulen is going to need to come in pretty soon. So is Ricardo Fella. At the moment, he's up at turn 9. He could potentially get round one more time. He's going to leave it late. Is Vermeulen going to do it as well? Yes, he does. So the front 2 cars leaving it to the last minute. Make that the front 3, because Maini's staying out. Also Lucas Auer. But here comes Maro Engel.
Right, so Engel comes into every pit stop full of confidence, because he knows Winward are mega at pit stops. They're the top pit stop team so far this year. He's already had 1 very good pit stop. Maro Engel and Jules Gounon have had several sub-6-second pit stops between them. A penalty coming the way of Tom Callender.
And Bortolotti.
And Mirko Bortolotti.
And Luca Exler.
Oh, and Luca Exler crossing the white line at pit entry rather than pit exit. That very late turning that you have coming out of turn 9 to make it to the pits, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a shame because Bortolotti is an unsafe release. We saw that as well, so coming out of the pit box. So 3 penalty laps all in one go. We had a GT4 race earlier where there were so many penalty laps they couldn't get into the penalty box. That was Porsche maybe, but there we go, it's confirmation of that. So there's going to be 3 cars going into the penalty box in the next lap or so.
As an England football fan, I shudder every time you say the phrase penalty box. Lots of bad memories. Ricardo Fella, Thierry Vermeulen, Arjun Maini, Lucas Auer, surely are heading into the pits on the next run around. What was Maro Engel's stop time? It was very good, 6.5 seconds. Not as good as they can do, but he'll take that.
This is going to be busy because we're going to have 10 cars coming into the pits at the same time here. So here we go, 1, 2. Everybody who comes around the corner at the moment is going to have to peel off into the pits, keep to the pit lane speed limit. So white line is where it all starts. The crew are standing by. So Ricardo Fella, Land Motorsport. Remember, they are new to performance pit stops. You wouldn't believe it. And Emil Frey, they've just had a real shocker with Ben Green, so they'll be nervous about Thierry Vermeulen.
Well, Land don't, I know it sounds crazy, they don't need to rush this. He's got 3.5 second advantage. They can afford to give a few tenths of a second away just need to get him in and out clean, really. So, in a sense, he's taken a bit of pressure off Ricardo Fella by increasing his advantage over the last couple of laps of the race.
Well, it's just 4/10 between Ricardo Fella and Thierry Vermeulen, so the team have done a sterling job there. Once again, we ride on board with Noah at GRT Grasser, and Jordan Pepper off the jacks, and out he goes.
They looked a lot closer to me, Fella and Vermeulen. There was only, you say, 0.4 of a second between the pit stops. But that gap is not 3.5 seconds anymore, so Vermeulen must have really pushed on the way into the pits to gain an advantage there. Is that Arjun Mighty going way out wide as he comes, or is it Maro Engel? Maro Engel, who's got his tyres up to temperature. He's already been in, remember, so he's going to slice through this lot. Watch him there in the blue and gold Mercedes. He's side by side with Jordan Pepper. Now he's side by side with Arjun Mighty, and that's how much more grip he's got with the tyres up to temperature. Meanwhile, Jordan Pepper is going to get past Arjun Mighty under acceleration on cold tyres. Mighty, we remember, was in a podium position before. He'd already dropped behind Lucas Auer through that pit stop phase. So Auer is back on course for a podium, and Pepper is on course for moving up the order and absolutely charging up the order. Is that man? Maro Engel goes around the outside now of René Rast, so he's back in front of Rast. But Miney is the one that's missed out during that pit stop, I'm afraid. It was a 9.7 second stop for Miney. So HRT there losing a couple of seconds and potentially costing themselves and Arjun Miney a podium finish here. And Maro Engel, the one to watch here, absolutely. So it's going to be Ricardo Fella that resumes in the lead of the race. He's at turn 9. Vermeulen, though, I reckon is a lot closer to him. And then rising to the top, or near the top, as always, it's Lucas Auer. But his teammate, championship-winning teammate from GT World Challenge last year, currently fighting for that title again, the pair of them as co-drivers, is right behind him, and that is Maro Engel, whose tyres are up to temperature, so they're going to be nose to tail. They are nose to tail as they come past the commentary box. There they are on your screens. This is the fight for the final spot on the podium, and they are both fighting for the championship title. No quarter will be given. 5th place for Rast, 6th for Pepper, having a really good day today, as he did yesterday under the circumstances. Then Miney, then Guan, and car 33 under investigation.
Yes, for unsafe release from the pit. So René Rast have been doing a very good job up into 5th place for the championship leader, but it could change if they decide there's a penalty incoming. This is what it looks like at the moment, a 3-point advantage if the race finished now, but we still got just under 8 minutes plus the 1 lap remaining as Jordan Pepper pulls alongside René Rast. A drag race, certainly a bit more top speed. Jordan Pepper into turn 4 on the outside line. René Rast tries to stick with him on the inside line. Arjun Mighty doesn't know who to follow. He looks behind Jordan Pepper. Looks like the quicker of the two, but René Rast trying to come back. But now Jordan Pepper gets the job done.
Superb,
but
he hits the curve and almost goes wide. Look at Arjun Mighty down the inside of everybody. Mighty's desperately trying to get back up the order. That's 2 places gained, but he goes a bit wide as well. Covers gravel all over the front of the BMW of René Rast. Pepper dropped behind Guan as well, so he almost got the perfect move done there. He just drifted a bit wide though, Jordan Pepper, and that's cost him 2, potentially 3 places here, although he's still fighting tooth and nail, and just about keeps Arjun Guan behind him.
And Rast has got a penalty lap, so he's going to drop out of this battle. That will put about 5 seconds onto his lap time for an unsafe release. No, actually, it's for crossing the white line on pit entry, so that's a different one, a different investigation. So there were 2 investigations on René Rast, but this is going to drop him down the order.
And again, Lucas Auer, he's going to come out of the weekend, if it stays like this, as the championship leader, and with a bigger margin than he had coming into the weekend. You tell him that yesterday when he was trundling around in 12th, 13th place, he would have happily taken it, wouldn't he?
He only needs to keep that going for 1 more weekend. Right, there's René Rast peeling off. That is going to sting as he slows down. Now back up to speed again through the penalty box. Well, this was the unsafe release that was being investigated, but it was crossing the white line, which was the penalty lap. So just looking to see if there's any other investigations. So yeah, he's had 2 penalty laps. So he had 1 for the unsafe release and for crossing the white line. So 2 penalty laps for René Rast. That is going to drop him a long way down. That really does give the advantage in the championship back to Lucas Auer. We're looking at René Rast there. Great positioning of the camera. You can see the whites of his eyes. I should think he is incredibly frustrated. He's down into 10th place now as we look back at Luca Engstler.
Yeah, and he's going to lose probably a couple more, isn't he, with another visit to the penalty zone. So Ricardo Fella goes through 2.5 seconds clear. His last lap was a 1:30.3. Thierry Vermeulen's last lap was a 1:30.2. Vermeulen was, before that final pit window, over 3.5 seconds behind, 3.8 seconds behind. So it has closed up overall, and he'll push like crazy now for Vermeulen to try and get this win, especially as he started on pole position. Lucas Auer in 3rd place, Maro Engel in 4th place, doing a very, very good job this weekend. And so too the team. Arjun Maini back up to 5th now, having lost those places during the pit stop phase. Still be a great result for them, but it'll be bittersweet because the podium was, you could taste the podium. He's driving very well, isn't he, Arjun Maini? Pepper 6th, Guan 7th, Gunon 8th, Bortolotti 9th, and now 10th place, Luca Engstler, because dropping out of the top 10, René Rast is going to drop to about 13th place. This is the cause of the other, or the original one.
Oh, so tight.
Yeah, I mean, he's
too much speed.
Kind of on it, but just over it, isn't he, on that white line?
Yeah, when you're in a racing situation, you're coming out of turn 9 and then having to duck in. It's a very tight right-hander.
Tricky, isn't it? Yeah.
Just carries so much speed, and it just slid that few inches, you would say, wide. That's what's cost him and dropped him a long way down. Ricardo Feller is 2.488 clear of Thierry Vermeulen, so looking to have it under control. 4.25 minutes remaining, plus 1 lap. Then there's a gap of about 5.1 back to Lucas Auer.
Like a great Netflix drama, this season of DTM, wouldn't it? It's so well written, isn't it? It's fantastic. The amount of twists and turns, every race, every phase of every race, something happens that totally throws the championship up in the air. And is that the tyre from earlier for Thomas, or somebody else's tyre now?
Oh, the two Durham motorsport
together.
Yeah. And that's not in the script.
Looks like Ben Durham might be the one that comes off worst there. Front right, probably. Yeah. Oh no, it's already there. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just moved it off the racing line. That's perfect.
It's probably the Thomas Pryning tyre from earlier, then, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Timo Glock.
Teammates?
No team orders.
No.
Going through.
No.
And they are, well, he's in the points, Timo Glock, so trying to get a point for the team and for himself as well. 7 points now is the gap. Pepper's up to 2nd. Rast is down to 3rd as it stands. Engel 4th, 16 points between them, 25 points between the top 8 in the championship as it stands, and also Gunon is going to be mathematically in with a chance as well, with 3 minutes 3 seconds to go in what has been another phenomenally dramatic race. All this chaos that's going around, Lucas Auer metronomically just keeps going, doesn't he? And sometimes he has a good day and a podium and a win, and sometimes it's not such a good day, but he's still there. He still bags the points, and he's doing a brilliant job, isn't he?
You're going to be bringing your calculator to Hockenheimring, aren't you? Because who knows what will happen. I mean, Jordan Pepper right back in the hunt again. We didn't see that one coming, but he's another one who's just always there, even when he's having a bad day. It's not that bad. Still, Lucas Auer has got Maro Engel and Arjun Maini behind him, so there is time yet, but the clock is ticking down. We're up to 2.25 minutes remaining, plus the 1 lap. I think the 1, 2, 3 are looking pretty solid, I say maybe, because Maro Engel is 9/10 back now from Lucas Auer. Fancies one of those lovely Golden Bull trophies to take home with him, I reckon.
You have to feel something for Thomas Pryning and Jack Aitken, don't you? They've spent basically the whole of this race trundling around at the back of the field, both because they had punctures in the very early stages in separate incidents. We didn't see what caused the puncture for Jack Aitken or what happened, and whether there was even any contact. We're pretty sure it was contact between Auer and Pryning that caused Pryning to have a puncture, from what we've seen on the replay, from what we can gather. But they have been spending the last 50 minutes or so trundling around, well, not trundling around, driving very quickly around, but 20th and 21st places, and just hoping that something happens in front of them to give them a safety car or give them some chance of points, but it does not look like it's going to happen, as René Rast now has to try and keep Maurice Skuring behind him, the battle for 13th place.
Where has the hour gone? That's the quickest hour of the entire weekend. So René Rast frustrated. He was looking, well, he was in 5th place but a few minutes ago. Now with Maurice Skuring trying to relieve him of 13th place. There we go again with the live championship points, but it's an ever-changing picture. It could change again even in the next minute. There is René Rast into turn 9. Maurice Skuring behind him, and Timo Glock into the points. 1 point coming his way if things remain as they are, but he's closing in on Maurice Skuring as well.
4th place finish has put Maro Engel from 8th in the championship up to 4th in the championship today. So it just shows the meaningfulness of bagging those points even when you can't fight for a win or a podium. So Feller 2.1 seconds clear. but still being kept honest by Thierry Vermeulen, who was a couple of tenths quicker on the previous laps. He's chipping away at the advantage, but because time is running out, they're going to run out of time on this lap, so just one more lap to go at the end of this one. Rennie Rast has got to dig deep here. Remember, he's got all that weight on the car, 20 kilograms of success ballast, and that's more wear and tear on the brakes, more wear and tear on the tyres. So even though you think, well, he's slipped down the order to 13th, he should be able to drive away from people behind him. No, he's the answer, because he's going to be struggling with that car the longer the race goes on. Maurice Skouring trying to turn his weekend around. It's been pretty fraught. After that first session on Friday where he topped the times, he's had some dramas and it's not worked for him. That puncture, of course, would basically put him out of qualifying, Maurice Skouring. So he's trying to get some points. Good effort for the Dutch driver in 14th place, but one lap to go, 4.3 kilometres to go for a famous victory for Land Motorsport and for that man, Riccardo Fella.
What a fairy tale this could possibly be. To remind you, that car won the GT Masters Championship back in 2021. Riccardo Fella's dad took it, put it in a museum to remember that championship win. The drive that Riccardo Fella was due to have this year fell through. They pulled that car out of a museum, put the Evo kit on it, and it's now leading the final lap of a race in the DTM as Wolfgang Land looks on and can barely believe it, I should think.
No, he will not count his chickens until that flag has flown, especially after what we've witnessed so far this year. Final lap of the race, final half a lap of the race. Turn 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 to go for Riccardo Fella, one of the nicest guys in the paddock and a very talented driver. We feared he might not be in the championship this year with his initial deal falling through. But I bet he's glad he came back, because he is about to pick up a first ever win for his team. His third win in the DTM, and he's just got to get around 2 more corners. So over the brow he comes. Riccardo Fella turns right into turn 9. Here he comes into turn 10. He is about to become a 3-time winner in the DTM, and in their first season of the championship, Land Motorsport are victorious in one of the most competitive championships in the world. Fella wins, Vermeulen comes home second, Auer is third, and they are celebrating like they've never celebrated before at Land Motorsport.
Come on, Eileen will be sounding out through their PA system. The car is called Eileen after the famous song, and Eileen has just come home in first place. Thierry Vermeulen, his best ever finish, but still that top step waits a little bit longer, and Lucas Auer back to the lead of the championship in the last of the podium positions.
I do love a feel-good story, and that's a proper feel-good story, isn't it? Pavel is happy at Emile Frey Racing because Thierry Vermeulen has given them some joy with a second place finish, but it's been a weird weekend for Emile Frey. They don't know whether to celebrate or cry, do they? Jack Aitken, hugely disappointing weekend. He's still in the championship fight, but he's been dealt a couple of real body blows this weekend. Thomas Preining as well today after a very good Saturday with a body blow, but they'll keep fighting. And one thing they will absolutely take solace in is the fact that if things happen to you, things are going to happen to somebody else, and they keep twisting and turning these results. So you're never out of it. You can have a great day, you can have a bad day, and it's the same for everybody out there. So it's going to be an absolute thriller. By my maths, we're going to go to Hockenheim with 9 drivers that could win the championship. Absolutely incredible, but also very fitting, really, because it's been that kind of season. Riccardo Fella, Thierry Vermeulen, and Lucas Auer on the podium, and Lucas Auer once again walks away from a racetrack on a Sunday night as the championship leader. If he can do that one more time, Brian, he'll be the champion of 2025.
Yes, just do it, what you've been doing for one more weekend. And we said at the beginning of the season this might happen. I still reckon it's going to go to the last lap of the last race of the season. You
heard it here first. Riccardo Fella, Thierry Vermeulen, Lucas Auer at the top 3. Maro Engel 4th, Arjumani 5th, Jordan Pepper in 6th, Anjan Guan 7th, Jorgun on 8th, Mirko Bortolotti and Luca Enxler in the top 10. 11th place, a good result for Tom Callender. Marco Wittmann in 12th place. Rennie Rast in 13th position after those visits to the penalty zone. Maurice Skouring and Timo Glock getting into the points. Nicky Tim just outside the points in 16th, with Ben Durr 17th, Gilles Magnussen and Nicola Bartz in the Come To You Racing Aston Martins 18th and 19th. Jack Aitken and Thomas Preining down there in 20th and 21st positions after their respective punctures early on in the race. and then no finishes for Ben Green, Max Powell or Fabio Scherer. So there you go, provisionally. Lucas Auer will go to Hockenheim in 3 weeks' time with a 7-point lead in the championship. It's slim, but it's been slimmer this year, so he'll take that absolutely. Jordan Pepper up to second in the championship. Can he become a DTM champion at the first time of asking? And René Rast might have left this weekend as championship leader. He's going to be going to Hockenheim third in the championship, but still very much in the fight. Almost becomes a 2-race championship, a 1-weekend championship this. But he doesn't care. All he cares about is what's happened today. Ricardo Feller, 3-time race winner in the DTM. His first win since 2023. And he drove absolutely beautifully. And do you know what, Brian? He deserved that because he's been quick since we got here on Friday.
Yeah, every session we've had, he's been somewhere near the top, hasn't he? Wouldn't it be great if Netflix were doing a documentary? Because this would be an entire episode about this driver and this car, when you think the beginning of this year, he didn't even have a drive, and Land Motorsport were not an entry into the DTM. Now look at this. At the legendary Red Bull Ring, he's going to have one of those beautiful golden Red Bull trophies to take home with him.
And massive congratulations to the team. How much pressure must they have been under for those 2 pit stops? Yes. When you sense we can win this, we could do this, we can get the victory, but we've just got to get it absolutely spot on it. My respect for those guys that do the pit stops is out of this world, because they have to do it oh so quickly, but also oh so calmly as well. It is mega what they achieve.
And you can see how quickly it can go wrong as well. We saw, you know, with Ben Green, you just have that dodgy wheel nut that he had at the front, and the weight and pressure on each pit stop mechanic is massive.
Well, it's coming, Thierry. That win is coming. Keep believing, keep fighting. And again, pole position, doesn't quite get the win, but he's getting there. 2/3, then a second from pole. So next time, Thierry Vermeulen, but he's having absolutely his best season. You have to remember about Thierry Vermeulen as well. He's not one of these drivers that had tons and tons of years racing karts and loads of experience before he got to this level of competition. And he has learned very quickly indeed, and doing a great job. And a very, very happy Lucas Auer there, back on the podium. Let's go down to the pit lane and Verena.
And I'm here with Lucas Auer, who did a fantastic job fighting his way from P4 to P3. And now, again, you're the leader of the championship with an extended lead by 7 points. So you've got to be excited about that.
Yeah, amazing home race, actually, by far. Or since a long time I waited for this result. And really happy for all the spectators, myself, and mega job from the team.
Absolutely. It's quite a roller coaster ride for everybody here. I mean, you guys are all fighting for the championship title. Now you're in the front again. In 3 weeks is Hockenheim Ring, and you'll be fighting hard for that title.
Yeah, we will be fighting hard. I have in my eyes the best team on the grid on my side, so we will be ready.
I'm sure. Thank you so much, Luki. Back to you.
Thanks very much, Verena. Yeah, he's always smiling, isn't he? He's always gracious as well. He always talks about the team first and what a great job the team did. But tell you what, Luki, you're a pretty good driver as well. Excellent effort. It's hard to stay away from all the chaos in this championship, isn't it? But he manages to do so brilliantly. But make no bones about it, when he needs to, and I've seen it many times, Lucas Auer is one of the most spectacular drivers out there. If he needs to go for a move, he needs to charge through the order, he can absolutely do it. But he is driving brilliantly in terms of his speed, but also with his head so far this year. And the team, Landgraf, just have gelled with him beautifully. They're getting the best out of him. And a reminder, that is, all the years he's been coming here, Lucas Auer's first ever podium at his home circuit at the Red Bull Ring.
Wow, yeah, you see why he's overjoyed by it, can't you? I tell you what, there's a lot of wisdom in the 1, 2, 3. Lucas Auer, the nephew of Gerhard Berger, Formula 1 superstar. Thierry Vermeulen, coached by multiple Formula 1 world champion Max Verstappen. Who's Ricardo Feller? Who's he been coaching him?
He's just a very wise man. There he is, Ricardo Feller, big beaming smile on his face. And yeah, well, heroics at the Nürburgring to get that podium, to lead much of the race, remember, at the Nürburgring. A brave effort. We thought the fairy tale story might happen there. It didn't quite. It has now. Land Motorsport take the victory. That is a huge effort, isn't it, to, in such a competitive championship, come in and win in your first season. Absolutely brilliant job. And I'm very pleased they already had the celebratory ticker tape and poppers on the go in the garage. So they had their hopes up already by the looks of it.
Yeah, I thought that when I saw the ticker tape floating from the ceiling. They clearly came here with high expectations. They probably got a crate of champagne out the back as well.
Yeah, but, you know, it's not an amazing surprise, this, is it? As we said, in the wet, in the dry, in the damp, it's been quick all weekend. And at pretty much every event, he's been quick. They've had a few mishaps here and there, but we know he's a very, very strong driver. Very close to winning the championship a couple of years ago, remember? So well done to Ricardo Fella and the team. Well done to that young man as well. 11th place finish for Tom Callender. Pretty regularly picking up the points now in the championship. He's only 17. He's giving away, you know, like 15 years experience to somebody like a René Rast or a Marco Wittmann. So I think he's done a good job. So all round, a very good day for that team.
Absolutely. The outgoing GT Master champion. Little consolation to Jack Aitken, by the way. He was the fastest man on the track. He had the fastest lap of the race on lap 35, 2 laps before the end, 1:29.389. Don't think he'll give one hoot about that. He'll be happy to get on the plane back to the UK as quickly as possible.
But he's still in it, and so is that man, Marco Wittmann. We saw a very quick glimpse of Jordan Pepper, who's absolutely in it. And drivers don't tend to walk away from the first weekend of a championship and win the championship. It hasn't happened for a very long time. Mentioned that at the start of the year. Jordan Pepper sent me a message and said, I'm going to try and change that with a little winky emoji. And he might just do it, you know, second place. Whatever happens, Jordan's been brilliant this year, hasn't he?
Yeah, what an entertainer. He's certainly not here to make up the numbers, is he? Not as that man there. Nicky Tim, he's had a difficult year, but still plenty to come from him. But yeah, Jordan Pepper, we knew he was going to be exciting, but he's been right in there from the very beginning, hasn't he? And brings such a lot, the South African driver. It's good to have a South African driver on the grid every year. We've lost the Van der Lindes for this year, but we got Jordan Pepper instead. Yeah,
second year running that we've got a South African fighting for the championship, very much fighting for the championship, going to Hockenheim. Remember last year, Saturday night at Hockenheim, Kelvin van der Linde actually led the championship, but didn't quite manage to do it on the Sunday. Mirko Bortolotti won it. How about this man then? Lucas Auer having another great season. He missed out to a South African in 2022. Kelvin's brother Sheldon won the championship. Lukey finished in second. Since then, he had that horrific accident at the start of the season before this in America. And to come back from that just shows the measure of the man, and always really pleasant to speak to, a great driver. He's absolutely the fight, and for the Austrian crowd, they'll be very happy to see him on the podium. But that's the star of the day, absolutely the star of the day. Ricardo Fella. You always remember your first win in the big championship, but this has got to be right up there as one of his best, doesn't it?
Yes, and the first win with Land Motorsport as well, and they will absolutely cherish this day and remember it forever. Surely one of the biggest achievements they've had in modern times, and Ricardo Fella just on the top step of the podium.
The Swiss national anthem plays. I think we all needed that moment of calm and reflection after what has been another chaotic weekend in the DTM. A hugely, hugely proud moment for driver and for team. And now the celebrations will begin. Trophy presentation, first of all. There's one of those brilliant trophies that Brian mentioned. And that's going to go pretty close to the top of his trophy cabinet shelving, I would think. Ricardo Fella, he's got quite a few of them as well. Trophies for his career. He celebrates with a win here in the penultimate weekend of the championship. 2 races to go, 2 qualifying sessions to go. And Thierry Vermeulen with another very good weekend. Remember, 2 podiums for him this weekend. 3rd yesterday, 2nd today, a pole position. He'll be slightly frustrated he didn't win, but he gave it everything, and he is really rapidly improving as a driver. Absolutely belongs here. He does, and there's a man who knows what it feels like to be on a podium in the DTM. Gary Paffett incidentally holds the record for the longest number of years, the biggest period between championship titles. He won in 2005, and won again in 2018. 13 years between his 2 championship titles. He's still 4th on the list of outright number of race wins in DTM as well. So Gary, who we got as our presenter on the grid with Verena at the start of the race, presenting that trophy to Lucas Aaron. Land Motorsport get their first team winning trophy in the DTM. A massively proud moment. So 3 drivers and the Land representative now on the podium for one more moment of quiet before one more moment of chaos, because champagne time is coming up next. And Lukey Auer is a demon with the champagne, so everybody run. There you go. I told you, get it open first. And they celebrate. And what a weekend it has been, Brian. It just keeps giving this championship.
Yeah, so unpredictable. Every session we've had, from free practice to the qualies to the races, have been so unpredictable. And it's just thrown things wide open once again. And we head into Hockenheim not knowing what on earth is going to happen there. It has been an absolutely classic season of DTM, and it may well be the best is still yet to come, if that were possible. Great shots with the bottle cam, by the way, Riccardo Feller enjoying the taste of champagne on the podium.
Friday the 4th, Friday the 3rd, Saturday the 4th, and Sunday the 5th of October. Mark them in your diary. That's the last weekend of the championship. 3 weeks' time at Hockenheim. Back down to Verena.
Who fought his way from 2nd place to victory and's got a big smile on his face, is soaking wet but happy.
Yeah, he will get a payback for sure. But yeah, I'm very happy. What a day. Wasn't expecting that, to be honest, but even better like this. So very, very proud of the whole crew, especially after yesterday's comeback with the mistake on the pit stop. Now even better. Yeah, very, very proud.
Congratulations again, and back to you.
Thanks very much, Verena. Yeah, proud. I think that's the word that best describes it, isn't it? And they should be hugely proud of what they have achieved. Well, all the spectators have had a fantastic weekend here. And this, some of the highlights, the road to victory for Riccardo Feller. Remember, for a lot of the race, was having to fight hard with Thierry Vermeulen, just going slightly wide there, Thierry, before that first pit stop. That's what got Riccardo through, and 2 very solid pit stops from the Land Motorsport crew. Great driving from Riccardo Feller. Again, was kept honest in the last 20 minutes of the race by Thierry Vermeulen, but never made a mistake. Won the race and got that famous victory. So a great feel-good story here at the Red Bull Wing. 2 races to go in 3 weeks' time. Catch your breath, everybody, because it's going to be phenomenal. From Brian Oliver and me, Chris Hartley, in the commentary box, thanks for your company. Back down to Verena.
And I'm here with Thierry. You started in pole position. You fought really hard. You managed the 2nd place. So you're still happy about that? I mean, you gave it all your best.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the whole weekend we maximized everything. I think today, maybe if we fought a bit longer and harder, maybe I could have stayed in front. But at the end, I just didn't have the pace in the first stint. And after that, I was just slowly increasing and staying stable. So all in all, just a great weekend. I mean, double podium, first time for me, of course, to have a double podium. First time actually in P2. So all in all, again, a solid weekend. We've had some difficult weekends, and now we bounce back. So really proud of the whole team.
Good to see you. Very happy, Thierry. Thank you very much, Thierry. And I've still got Gary Paffett here. It was lovely having you here this weekend. And Gary, I've got to ask, next time, trust my nose, right?
I know. You're right. And you may be hired by some strategists for some rain predicting, maybe with your nose.
But Gary, how much did you enjoy the race today? It was quite spectacular, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a great race. It's a really big kind of swing in the championship as well. Lugie's in a great position, you know, really kept his head. Obviously, Jack and Rene had a tough race, but, you know, I think it's going to be down to the last race in Hockenheim, so there's still a lot to play for.
And your prediction for Hockenheim?
Lugie's my man, you know. I've raced with Lugie as my teammate before. Yeah, I'd bet on him, but who knows, honestly, who knows?
Who knows in DTM? Gary, it was great having you here. Thank you so much for all your input. And yeah, see you in 3 weeks for the big finale at the Hockenheim Ring. And we can't wait. So see you then. Here are the highlights. Do enjoy. Bye-bye.